banger? Hell yeah.
Classes in session, this is the show where knowledge is profit, just so you know. Army Piper, OC guy, and Trade Fly, bringing crypto news to the whole alumni. It's the word on the market, the one-stop shop for the info you need every time that it drops. The go-to show that you need right now. This is Piper Academy, it's all going down, let's go.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Piper Academy. We've got a great show lined up for you today. Michael Saylor just buying a whole lot more crypto. We got Zero, some new token. We're going to have Crux take a look at this one, doing something called proof of donation. Guys, we're going to take a look at that and a whole lot more, and some economic data, why the markets might be pulling back a little bit right now. Let's get it. Classes in session. Good morning to all of my alumni out there. Thanks for joining us today on Piper Academy. We're going to unravel some news today. We're going to look at the economic data that just came out. We got the housing report and some jobless numbers. So we're going to be taking a look at that stuff. And then also we've got to take a look at the Zero thing because it's a little weird. Don't know anything about it too much yet, but I want to look at it because I saw it this morning on the excuse me, I am so sorry. I'm allergic to scam tokens, I guess. We're going to jump in and take a look at it, though, and I'm going to have Crux get on that. So, but I am not alone. You just heard him laugh in the background there. That is OC guy. Guess who's back today? The most handsome man in crypto, the Trade Fly. What's up, bro?
The cream of the crop. Nobody does it better.
What's up, man? How you doing? We missed you yesterday. We had T-Stream on, and you were not here with it, so.
I know. I'm so upset. Honestly, T-Shroom, like I said, he's one of my favorite guys in the space. He's actually a genuinely good dude. So definitely upset that I missed it. I did catch the tail end of the show, though. But, hey, had to do a little freedom fighting. No big deal. Got little duty calls. But, hey, we're here today. I'm ready to do it. Let's get it.
I got Kasutai. Thanks, C90. Hey, by the way, C90, I was looking through the chat yesterday afterwards, and I saw your thing. I wasn't thinking that you were like bashing on anything, bro. I was just wanting to let you know I tried to fix the link that you pointed out. I appreciate you. I appreciate all my alumni. Amy Lives Crypto is in the house. I see that. Trade Intuition saying bless you. Thank you. I appreciate you, man. Trade Intuition is going to be on next Wednesday. He's going to be, Joe's going to come hang out with us. And then Amy Lives Crypto, when she gets back from Indiana, is going to be hanging out with us. So I want to bring everyone on. If you guys have a show, even if you don't have a show, if you got something to say about crypto and you have a camera system and some type of decent audio, let us know in the Discord. I will bring all of you guys up here. I don't care. I'm not here to monetize a great show. I just want to make great content. And the alumni are smart people. So
Hey, you never know. You come on the show, you might not ever go. That's what happened to me. Just saying.
Trade Fly, come on one time, please, man. Stay right where you are, right there.
I'll never forget that day, man. I'm sitting there, I'm making my coffee in the morning, and Piper's like, I got a big announcement. I'm like, oh, this would be interesting. So I listened. He was like, yeah, we're adding a new member. It's going to be a Trade Fly. And I was like, what? What just happened? Like,
FD White's in the house also. Cool. Hey, FD White, I saw your post on X, dude. Brilliant. He said he bought some spot crypto. This is brilliant. I love this dude. I love FD White. He bought some crypto spot, sold it after it was up 7%, took that profit and is now leverage trading the profit with free money. So shout out to FD White, brilliant crypto guy, and always welcome to come back on the show anytime he wants also. Let's go. OC, how you doing, man? What is up with you today? How are you doing? And what's going on in the world of OC? I'm moving my camera around here because I felt low. I need to sit higher, you know? OC, what's up, man?
Not much. Pretty happy today. I have a great night's sleep. Finally, I don't know why. I mean, I haven't had a couple of things, but did some exercise yesterday. So today is gonna be a bright day. Also, courtesy of my fiance. She made me my cool latte out of my favorite coffee, which is, if you don't know, that's my favorite guy. This is my favorite coffee.
Legendary Aviation. Yeah, I love Legendary Aviation coffee. It's so clean tasting. Let's go ahead And I apologize for the allergies going on today, guys. We had a massive sandstorm, dust storm, they call it, yesterday here in El Paso. And it felt like my solar panels were going to rip off the roof of my house last night. The wind was so hard. And so I'm a little congested today, but we're going to make it through. We're going to make it through. Let's go ahead and jump over to the news. Actually, TradeFly, why don't you give some shout outs? You don't have to hit everybody yet, but just give some shout outs on the chat there, and then I will have this ready to go.
What Piper's over there sneezing. All right, I got this. All right, Procroci, No Dinero. What's up, my guy? Warrior 4588, my fellow aviator Kyle Fields. Yo, Tesla pilot, Ninja Glock C90 for the win. Harp, Trade Intuition. Joe, how you doing? Reggie Classics, he actually showed up early today. Welcome. Arson246, Justin Eubanks, how you doing, my man? Always giving us some love on Twitter. I really appreciate you. Let's see. Blackie Chan, if I didn't say you. Amy Lives Crypto. Trucks of Crypto. FD White Crypto Pollo Cluck. And Mike Play. And I think that rounds it out. Boom.
I think it does. I think we're good. All right, let's jump over to the news, guys. Let's break it down and show you guys what happened here. We've got a fear and greed index of 60 now. We've come down a little bit more, so we are heading in the right direction. We're now at 60. We're close to neutral. We're getting really close. What's that?
I said we're still in greed.
Yeah, we're still in greed, bro. It's still in greed. Looking at the crypto bubbles here, let's give it a little refresh, and I'll show you guys what I was talking about on Zero. Zero is, where are you, Zero? Where did you go? Zero was on here, I promise you. It's like number 73 right now. Anyway, we'll go down and look at it. But Zero is on here, and it was looking a little weird to see this token like moving out of nowhere this morning. And I was like, what is Zero? And so I went and looked for it. I found an article, and they got something called proof of donation. Proof of donation is what it's called, and I don't even understand what that is. I mean, I know what it is. I understood what they were saying, but I've never seen anything like it. It's a little weird. We're going to be taking a look at that, though, today. Looking here, guys, on the list right now, Bitcoin, it's finally above $65,000. Yay. We have Ethereum above 3,500. And this actually was above 66,000 this morning, just so you know, until that economic data came out, which we're getting ready to go over. So we did have Avalanche moving up to number 11 there. Still, it slid down, and then it popped back up into 11, because if you guys remember right, yesterday it was on 11 also. What else did we have? Big movers. Near Protocol moving up 2 positions there. We got Arbitrum jumped up 6 spots to number 35, guys. Arbitrum making some moves. And then VeChain. Shout out to Amy Lives Crypto. She loves this. Amy Lives Crypto loves VeChain, and it is up 7 spots. Maybe it's because she was over there talking about it yesterday on Infinite Crypto with Brad. I don't know. They had a little combo about it, but it is up 7 spots to number 43, up 2.7% for the day, guys. So, and then down here, number 73, I think it is. No, it's number 74 now. Layer Zero is what it is called. You can see it's down 14.5% on the hour, and a lot of that is because of that proof of donation announcement that they did, and then down 6.5% for the day. You guys can see nothing on the week, the month, or the year. This is a pretty new token. And the one thing that I did notice, it just dropped to number 76 and went to 17.5% down. It's dropping hard right now, guys. So I'm not telling you to buy this. Well, I don't want everyone to know that. But it does have some interesting things, and it is built on Ethereum. So we're going to have Crux definitely take a look at that. Let's jump over to the liquidations and see what we're seeing here. In the past 24 hours, there were 39,550 traders liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at 97.2 million. So not that big of a deal. Pretty low on that end. A big chunk of that, though, from one trade, guys. Bitcoin, $8.09 million liquidation there. And then the economic calendar. This is the data that we need to know. Can you get off there? I just totally lost that. So let's come over here and grab it again. Every now and then that thing resets, and it does not want to stay in its spot. It does not know its place. There we go. Looking here, guys, on the economic data that came out this morning, it was the building permits. For one, we had this data. Came in at 1.38 million permits, guys. Previously, it was at 1.44, and they were estimating that it was going to be higher. it came in lower. This means that building construction is slowing down, right? Building permits month over month, it was down -3% last month. They said it was going to be higher, almost a full percent up, forecasted to be as high as 2% up. Actually came in down 3.8% less permits this month than the previous month. Massive slowdown there. So you've got, between these two, you've got economic data saying economic softening. Economic softening means weaker economy. That is why we're seeing some pullbacks after this data this morning there, guys. And then housing starts. And this one actually might be decently good if you're looking to buy a house, because this means housing prices are likely going to start coming down. Housing starts, they had 1.27 million there. People, these are starting builds on new houses, right? It was at 1.35 million. They thought it was going to be higher, 1.37, 1.38, actually came in lower. So missed its expectation big time also. And then housing starts month over month. They thought it would be up again, 0.7%, 2.2% as high as the forecast went, down 5.5%. And then, of course, we got job data. Remember, these need to get worse. Job data needs to get worse if you want to see markets go up, because the markets operate on, hey, this is bad, right? This is heading towards recession. Initial jobless claims there at 243. That was a revised number, by the way. They snuck that in on the back table on the way out of the classroom, just so as we talked about before, so you guys know. 243,000 jobless claims last week. Consensus 235, forecasted to be 239,000, came in below the expectation. So not as many people filing unemployment claims this week as what they thought they were going to be, even though we'll likely get a higher revised number, just like we had last week coming in. So that is what I have there for that news. Let's go ahead and jump over to Trio Cam and talk about this economic data. So obviously building permits, housing starts, and housing closings and stuff like that, all slowing down, means that people aren't buying as much. And it's either because they cannot afford to buy or because they refuse to pay these high mortgage rates. Everything else is too expensive for them to take on a 7.5 or whatever the average interest rate is for a mortgage rate right now for lending. So that would mean that prices for homes are likely going to be dropping. Treyfly, you see anything like that out in California, or housing prices dropping yet?
So one of the things that we're seeing a little bit out here is a lot of contingencies. All right, contingencies on top of contingencies. So somebody has to be selling their house before they can actually get into their next house. That's one of the things that I obviously know some real estate agents that they're seeing, and so like it's slowing up the process, because with contingencies on top of contingencies, everyone, they need that equity to actually get into the next home because of the ridiculously high interest rates and prices. Like, it's not like it used to be where somebody could get into another property and not actually need to be contingent on selling that previous property. So that is one thing I've noticed. My wife's a real estate agent, so that's kind of the deals that she's working with right now. And those things are a mess. If you understand contingencies at all, a lot can go wrong there. Just very little things can make deals fall through. So that's, again, that's just one thing I'm seeing. But I think here in California, we're a little bit different than most places. I would say the real estate market hasn't slowed. Can you hear me?
I can. Yep.
Am I back?
You're there. Yeah, we just got.
All right.
I told you we got a really bad dust storms going on here in El Paso, so messing with the internet there a little bit. But yeah, you said your wife's a real estate agent was the last thing that we got. So
Okay, yeah. So that's the deals that she's working with right now, is some of those contingency offers. And I'll say here that California is probably a little bit different than a lot of the rest of the nation. Some of the newer homes actually have had price increases, because I am personally looking at some newer homes because I want to be a little closer to where I'm working right now. So unfortunately, it hasn't been a drastic change for us, to be honest. It's probably different in other places. So you guys might be able to speak a little bit more to that.
by the way, FD White, if somebody is in here that can drop a link to FD White's YouTube channel, he has 999 subs. He needs one. He's got 999 subs, but monetization ain't one. There you go. So if somebody can hook him up with that.
I'll work it while you guys talk.
He needs a hookup. Hook that man up.
I got it.
Yep. OC, how about down there in Mexico? How's your housing prices doing? Are they following suit with what we're seeing here? Are they really high and now things are slowing down? It's getting very difficult to find homes or anyone wanting to buy?
Well, we have a little bit of a mixed match, especially where I'm located. If you don't know, guys, if you don't know, guys, so just so you are also aware of my geographical location, I'm on the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. This is where we have had an explosion of housing. So we've been building houses like crazy, but also inflation has gone like crazy up, right? So somewhat the acquisition price versus the production price, we have found a balance here. So we haven't seen a real increase of pricing houses, but also talking about how hard is it to get a house, it is freakishly hard now because of the inflation and how your money is able, or how much you're earning and how much your money is able to buy. Although, again, overproduction in houses and also house pricing, both they are kind of like canceling each other out. I'm not saying that they're stable, they still rising, but it hasn't been as bad as in other part of the country. But yeah, I mean, absolutely, we haven't seen house pricing plummeting, but what we could be seeing might be a non-developed, non-constructed areas which are meant to be houses. Those prices plummet very, very soon. But yeah, that's what's happening around here.
Nice. Well, not nice, but good info. Gives us that perspective outside of our bubble, because a lot of people, they look at their city and they think that's the world, and it's not. I've been all over, and so you bring that perspective of that you bring that perspective from outside of even the United States to give us, hey, yeah, we're seeing the same thing here. It's not just an American problem. It's a North America problem, because I hear a lot of the same things that are going on here are happening in Canada when we have Alex O on. So, FDY, you are now at 1,000. The alumni have showed up for you and taken care of you, bro. I do have an article here. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get it. I do have an article here. Let's jump over and take a look at that. What'd you say, Trey Ply?
Oh, I said, let's go.
Let's go. That guy, I can't remember. Hey, Alex O Crypto in the house. What is up, dude? Good to see you. MicroStrategies. You guys may have heard of Michael Saylor. Seen him a time or two on X or something. He's back in the news. We talked about this last week, that they were trying to raise the money to buy some Bitcoin. Well, guys, they did it. They completed $800 million note offering, so they bought more Bitcoin. They didn't obviously spend the entire 800 million convertible note on Bitcoin. Some of it was for general corporate purposes, but out of that 800 million, guys, they did spend a whopping $786 million buying more Bitcoin. Michael Saylor possibly bought the dip this time and not the top. So shout out to Michael Saylor. Good job, dude. But yeah, that's they now own an additional 11,931 Bitcoin. They in total hold 226,331 Bitcoin. MicroStrategy does. So that is what they got going on there. And then I want to jump over here. We want to talk about this because this is going to lead us into the charts that we're getting ready to look at for Bitcoin, guys. Bitcoin miner reserves dropped to the lowest point in 14 years. This is vital information to know. Taking a look at this, guys. Miners are holding the least amount of Bitcoin on their balance sheet since February 2010. But the fiat value of the reserves is hovering around an all-time high. So the amount of Bitcoin held by miners has dropped to its lowest total in more than 14 years. On June 19th, miner reserves fell to 1.9 million Bitcoin after starting the year with 1.95 million Bitcoin. According to Lucas Altamuro, nailed it, head of research at Into the Block. Miners are expected to hold less Bitcoin over time as the halving pressures their margins, making them more likely to sell their reserves, which we talked about. They're in capitulation. They still are right now. It's in recovery. So we've been showing that on the hash rate ribbon. So this is all falling into place with what you guys have been learning here at the Academy for the past month. In Bitcoin's proof of work consensus mechanisms, you're rewarded for their transactions, which is mining. That is proof of work. And then, every 4 years we get the halving event, right? They're breaking that down, the quadrennial halving, which occurred on April 20th, reduced the mining rewards down to 3.125 from 6.25 Bitcoin. Despite the pay cut, miner reserves measured in the United States dollars have been hovering around their all-time high at about $135 billion total among all miners for how much Bitcoin they have. This means that although Bitcoin producers are holding less Bitcoin than ever, the dollar value is much higher. And it seems that today miners have learned from past cycles that gone are the days of over-leveraging and holding on to too much Bitcoin, a strategy that has backfired in the past. Dropping Bitcoin rewards and competition causes the Bitcoin produced per unit of hash power to decrease over time, which raises production cost. And we've talked about that a lot recently with the ASICs having to be changed out, stuff like that, because they are just not cutting it anymore. So let's talk about this. They're holding the least amount. At some point, they're going to get to the level where they go, we need to save some Bitcoin because we're not able to mine a lot of Bitcoin. We need to save some for this parabolic blow off. Guys, I really do think that when we look at that chart that I've been showing you guys, and let me go ahead and just get that set up and ready here. When we look at this chart where it says they're in recovery and we're starting to get blue blocks down here on this hash rate ribbon, let's go back and look at what happened the last time we were in that cycle, had a pullback, okay? Actually, it would be here. We had that pullback after going up. This is COVID. We hit that green. It went up parabolically sideways. We had another one here, went into a capitulation, went sideways for a little bit, popped back up. Guys, I think we're at the point where the Bitcoin miner capitulation is going to reset. It's going to trigger a buy signal. I have set an alert on the daily because that will happen first, and then it will build up to the weekly. I don't really take it too serious until it fires on the weekly for that buy indicator, that green dot. But I have set one for the daily so that you guys will know as soon as I know that we are in that change mode for the hash rate ribbon on these miners. But with them selling off as much as they've sold and them holding the little bit that they have and the rewards that they get from mining being so limited now at 3.125 Bitcoin per block, I do believe that you're going to see them start to hodl their Bitcoin for some higher levels. And yes, we're going to continue to probably hit capitulation periods throughout this entire cycle because they've got to take some profits as they go. It takes money to operate those large facilities that they do. But at the end of the day, I do believe that we are very near to the end of this whole sell-off period and selling pressure. Tradefly, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that with the Bitcoin miners and their levels, or whatever you want to touch on, and that entire souffle of stuff that I just laid together there.
Yeah, man. So I've mentioned it before. I think this might be the beginning of where we start seeing institutions move into mining. So I think this opens the door. And the reason I say that is because they will then have a piece of the pie of each aspect of mining the Bitcoin, owning the Bitcoin, and then getting into selling these ETFs as well. They'll have kind of that whole, you know, what's the right word? They'll just have each, I don't know, part of the process, we'll say. And you'll see that with companies like Apple, right? They might, you know, they try to have the whole ecosystem, and I just think that the institutions at some point are going to move into that. I've talked about it before. They don't need to necessarily make money on that aspect of it as long as they have control of every aspect of it. So, I think you could start seeing that. I'd be very interested. It'll obviously take some time, but don't be surprised if you start seeing something like, hey, BlackRock buys, one of these mining companies or takes it over, whatever the case may be, because it's going to be harder for them to be profitable as the price for mining comes down. So I wonder, why are they selling the reserves? That's kind of my big question. Is that because at this point it's harder for them to make money, or is this an
No,
exit strategy? Like
no,
why are they selling the reserves?
I think the reason they're selling their reserves is because they've got a lot of ASIC systems that they have to upgrade that cannot mine at the difficulty level now of proof of work. So
Okay, so yeah, still increase. So even more of an increase in terms of price. So they have to
yes,
invest in more hardware to then
better
keep up.
better
Yeah.
updated stuff because the ASICs can't cut it no more. So yeah,
So yeah, it's getting harder and harder. Basically, is the point of the conversation there. And at some point, when is it just not going to be worth it because the margins will be too tight?
yeah. Kyle
So
Fields is very smart on this stuff. He's talking about vertical and horizontal integrations. Yes, exactly. And they've got to change that stuff out. They've got to They've got to re-network it all back in. Like there's a lot of money that goes into Bitcoin mining. So it's not just the energy. Those rigs are not cheap, especially when you've got inflation on chips going on right now. So and another reason NVIDIA is the most valuable company in the world right now. Just a little
i-
cherry on top.
is Kyle in the mining industry or just smart on it?
I don't. Kyle, what do you do in the mining? Are you just really smart on it? Did you take a extracurricular summer course at the academy that I'm not aware of? Let
Yeah.
us know in the chat. OC guy, what's your thoughts on this, man? And then we'll go and jump into that Bitcoin chart and take a look at it.
Well, then, I mean, we've been waiting about this for a long, long time. And as you mentioned, you were looking at this at the Caprioli chart when it started firing. So if you're not watching the Piper Academy, this was the first place that I am aware of that was taught or that was shown right on the charts based on the Caprioli chart. And based also on the economic data. Oh, well, I don't have it pulled up, but that was
Okay.
your chart, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. I thought you were talking about something you had up.
So, oh well, but it was something that was expected, especially at these areas of capitulation, because not only or also we talked about this, the ETF and the big players have been buying around this Bitcoin as it was produced. Although yes, I know they have had big sell-off, but as per overall trend, they've been buying, and then most of the golden hands or diamond hands we also have been accumulating. And I think that's where we're seeing that unbalance between production and buying, while we don't have that movement on price that usually leads to higher timeframes bullish divergences. So most likely, and that's what I'm seeing right here on the 4-hour chart, that we have a bunch of bullish divergences. And I think it's now time when we start thinking about, well, you know what, it is a good time to start looking for a possible reentry. I do see a little bit of a space to fall back down farther, just a little bit. Remember, 62 might be my biggest starter at this point. But I mean, so far, I think that we are pretty much over with the overall pain that we might be seeing. So that being said, I don't think that we're gonna be losing 60K.
All right. Well, that's you guys heard it. There's the claim right there from OC guy. Let's jump over to the chart and take a look at what's going over there, because that economic data this morning is causing some sell-off here, guys. I want to show you guys something. Let's turn off these local fibs, and I want to just talk about this channel that we're in, and this fixed range volume profile can go to. There we go. We're in this channel here. This channel, oddly enough, besides the outlier here that cuts right down there. Beyond that, we have pretty much been in this channel for a while now. And this halfway mark, this 50% mark of this parallel channel has really been playing quite important levels of resistance and support. You can see that there. We just hit it recently for more downside. Now, that in mind, keep that in mind. I'm just going to drop it off here for a second. And I'm going to show you the low to all-time high to low fib extensions, okay? And just to show you guys where this is coming from, let me move this to a daily because this will help explain it much better for you. I took this from the low back here minus, I didn't count the COVID-19 drop. That is a black swan. The low of the cycle really would have been here. And then we go to the high of the peak that we had in 2021 back down to the low. And that is the areas that I have pulled this trend-based fib extension from. Now, if we take a look at this and we put this back on the 4 hour, you'll see that we are playing pretty clean in here on the golden pocket, guys. This was back here on 30 April, got a nice bounce off of that, and then moved to the upside. Tried to hold the platinum pocket, couldn't quite make it all the way up to the 887, but now we're underneath it. Now that you see that bigger time picture, we're kind of honing down in without looking at the weekly, daily 4 hour. We're looking at indicators, fibs that are giving us that bigger time frame down to the lower. So let's turn off the low, all-time high to low, and let's just turn on the local fib, which is going to be pulled from this low here that was that golden pocket that we just showed you guys, see right there, to the top. And we had a nice double top that happened on there. Let's go in and take a look at where we are now and what's happening, because I am still standing on the fact that on the daily, we have this dynamic reactor running in right inside the golden pocket. And I've been talking about $62,400 down to $61,800. So much you guys probably hear the numbers in your sleep. And I apologize if I keep banging the drum on this, but this is why I think we will see this happen. Looking at the 4 hour here, we do have a trend that has taken place. And this is typically how it works out. We go down here. We hit the zero line, right? Which was a double top from that other point that we pulled this from. It drops down. It hits the dynamic reaction. It hits the 236. It tries to come back up, but it can't find that support. It comes straight to the 382, guys. And then it goes from there, tries to break above that, can't do it, retest it, rejection, comes down, breaks that 382, and eventually, through a fight period, comes down to the 50. That is where it gets its bounce. Look what just happened today. We have now come back up to the 382 and are rejecting from that point. That is what is happening here over and over and over. Guys, it's on the glide path right now as we look at this to head down to the golden pocket. And again, that golden pocket is going to coincide right here with the dynamic reactor. Top it all off with a little bit of confluence. That is your value area low. That is what happens when you get a rejection on the point of control. And that value area low on top of a golden pocket, on top of that dynamic reactor on the daily, giving me indication 62.4 is exactly where we are heading, especially when we're getting the step down of the fibs each time we get rejected. So let's jump over to TradeFly's chart and we'll take a look at what you got. Let's take a look at that heat map, see what it's looking like.
Yeah, man, got the liquidation heat map up on the 3-day. So you can see the hotspot is up to the north of price action right now. But with that economic data that came out, that's obviously a news-based move when you're looking at the price coming down and right. So we got kind of a dark area on the top and the bottom side of where price action is. But right around where Piper is talking about, around 64K, you can see it starting to heat up again. So price action kind of aligns with the analysis there. And I will say that I am pretty much like right in line with what Piper's saying. Like, I don't even have to parrot it because that is exactly what I'm looking at on my chart as well. I did look for a little bit of price action off that 0.5. We got that. And then, like you said, we got the rejection. I think the golden pocket is the place to be if you're looking to get on or in an entry for Bitcoin right now. The dynamic reactor, we've talked about that. That's been support for months. So yeah, I'm right in line. I don't have much more to say besides if we do lose that area, don't be scared because you do have a support range down just to the bottom of that price action as well, somewhere around, we'll get about 60K, 61K, all the way down to about 59.7. And that also aligns the platinum pocket on the top side. So just looking back left on the chart, I'm pretty big on that. So you can see support, support, and support, support. I mean, so that's where I would at least look for some price action there as well as, and to add to that, you also have this trend line here that's going up and right. So there's a lot of support that's on the bottom side of price action right now. No big deal if it really comes down, and that would actually bring us, I think, in a fear and greed index, that'll bring us down to neutral a little bit, let everything kind of reset, shake enough people out, and then we can see some movement back up and right. So not a whole lot to add there. I am on board. I will co-sign on Piper's analysis Let's get it.
Nice. Before we go over to OC's chart, I want to give a shout out to Lunar Beaches Crypto. He said today would have been his mother's 58th birthday today. So happy birthday to her, because if you say it, you put it out to the universe, she still exists. So there you go. Always going to give a shout out to the family here and the alumni. So Lunar Beaches, my heart goes out to you, bro. Let's jump over to OC's chart and let's see what he's got there.
All right, so as you guys may know, I'm gonna be the third wheeler here, and I'm gonna go against that that analysis. It's not that difficult. Sorry, not that different.
Off this head.
Well, come on, that needs to be my job. I mean, what fun would it be if I said, "Yeah, the same. Let's move on." Right? I mean, we need to have a villain here, and today is gonna be my time.
Okay.
So
I got you
everybody's just
covered.
waiting for that.
I got him. There he
There
is.
you go. I got a better one.
Like,
Was
all I
that
hear,
one
dude.
too?
Yeah, it didn't come
Oh,
through.
really?
Did not come
Yeah.
through.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Oh,
You were
all right,
so
I'll try
excited
to
too,
fix
man.
that. Yes, I was. So everybody's looking at 62, right? But the truth of the matter, it is also that we haven't lose this bunch of supported resistances that we can see here. Oh, come on. I was just waiting for the end of the class to bring up the spaghetti. All right, so but look at from all the way up here to all the way down here between the, what is it, the 67,220 and to 64,493. Those are the resistances or support, the channel where we see the price coming down, right, and then bouncing out. Look at this top. Look at this bottom, right? Look at this other top. Look at this ranging area, right? So far we haven't lost the 64,420 and 464,400. Let's just call it like that, right? And yes, if we lose this area, there's free fall all the way to 6,700. I would say 62 close. That's because we have the first smart money concentration area right there, right? So that will be my first area of bouncing. But so far, we technically have done a higher high, right? And also, now's the time I'm going to bring up my spaghetti. But look at the oscillator prediction that I was making yesterday. There's going to be two of them, so I'm going to show it to you right now. Look at that. I was looking at this triple divergence. That triple diversion actually played out right there, right exactly where is my finger right now, right? And then what other motion was I expecting? I was expecting possibly a double bottom on the oscillator. What is it happening right now? And I need to admit that I'm a little bit surprised that this time I actually nailed it right there on the timing. But look at that. We might be seeing, or if better yet, if we see the oscillator going all the way down and not lose the 64,500, I believe that we're going to be seeing a little ranging here, maybe slightly moving upward, or even making a swing failed pattern. And then finally, this one will be playing out, but slightly before or of what I was expecting, something like that. All right. So far, not looking that bad. Remember that my worst area, it is somewhere around here. So I do expect maybe a wicking action all the way down here, but not closing below the, I don't know, 64 on daily. All right. So I still see it bullish-ish a little bit, but we need to wait. Another thing that I want to show you, it is right here. We have the market dump still, but if we move out of the chart, oh no, we still have the market dumps. Sorry, it changed for a split second before this kind of close. Today morning, we saw a market pumps right before we reversing here. So we're still in market dumps, and I'm looking forward to a changing here. Another important thing, it is that on the huge cup and handle that we can see here, remember, it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest, and we are bouncing from it. I still be maybe expecting something like that, right? And yeah, that will be 63, 62 for the worst case scenario. But also, we are right now, we just bounced from it. So I still have high hopes. And also, we never enter in these signals. Where do we enter? On the pullbacks of those signals. So everything playing out so far, not looking that bad for me. But again, I'm playing right now my part of going against the main analysis just to have a different perspective. I'm still bullish on Bitcoin, just to be clear. I'm still bullish on the macro of Bitcoin, right? And that's what I got.
Awesome. Let's jump over to my chart. We're going to take a look at zero. Guys, this is a 4-hour candle chart that I'm about to show you. And you can look at all of the charts, and this is what you're going to see. This is it. This is it. It doesn't matter which one I pull up. I can put it in here. Let's go zero. Sure. We'll go here with Bitfinex. Let's see that one. Yep, there it is. Same thing. Doesn't matter where we go to. We have a little more data on this one, guys. You can see it went up and then way back down. We got to pull this all the way down to like a 7-minute chart and look at the gapping that's going on. This thing launched this morning. I will tell you, it is on crypto.com now. So if you guys are looking for a DGen play around, not financial advice, it is there. But
what I want on Binance too.
Is it on Binance too? Yeah.
It's going to. They delayed the listing, but it's going to get listed on Binance.
Okay. So I want to talk about this because I think that it has decent fundamentals. And Crux, if you could take a look at that, that would be great. We'd appreciate you doing what you do best. But this is why it's pulling back and dumping like this, beyond the idea that, hey, it's listed on all these exchanges. Hopium pumps it up, they take profits, and then it dumps. Never buy on a token launch, right? But Layer Zero asks eligible users to pay 10 cents per ZRO to claim their airdrop. Plans to raise $18.5 million in donations for the Protocol Guild. Let's take a look at this because this is what's on the thumbnail. What the hell is proof of donation? It's a new thing. Layer Zero has introduced a new claiming mechanism for its Zero token where users must donate 10 cents in USDC or USDT or ETH per zero. The mechanism will generate up to $18.5 million in donations, a collective funding mechanism for Ethereum developers, according to Layer Zero Foundation. The airdrop claims for Layer Zero's ZRO token opened earlier today. Cross-chain interoperability protocol Layer Zero is asking for users to pay for those claims via a new mechanism called proof of donation. I'm not even on there, am I? Let's jump over here. There we go. Proof of donation. Nobody said anything. They were like, you're still in your chart. Cross-chain interoperability protocol. You guys good? Are we good? Okay. Layer Zero is asking eligible users to pay for the airdrop claims with that new mechanism called proof of donation. To claim ZRO, users must donate 10 cents, which we talked about there. And the protocol and Ethereum's core developers have been fundamental to its growth, so this is a way to pay them back. And yeah, I'm just really curious what the hell this token is at the end of the day. So I definitely need Crux to break that down and look at it and see what, first off, proof of donation. Has anyone ever done that? As far as I'm tracking, this is the first person, company or token protocol to ever do that. And then secondly, is there a buy point for Layer Zero based on its fundamentals? Because if there is, then we'll keep an eye on it. But as of right now, I would stay away from Layer Zero until more information comes out. So
until Crux does a deep dive on it.
But until Crux does a deep dive on it, that's right. Yeah. I ain't touching that until Crux looked at it first.
That's it, man. That's literally the basis for some of my stuff now. I wait till Crux looks at it, and then I'm like, okay, all right, that sounds legit.
Kyle Fields, who was very smart in business, by the way, said it sounds like a reframed capital raise strategy. It does, absolutely. It's kind of like raising seeding without seeding. So it's a little odd in my opinion. So I would be pretty mad though if I paid 10 cents for something and then it turns around and dumps on me. I just invested in this company and you guys sold off on top of my head. So yeah, for sure. Your thoughts on this proof of donation? Would you guys be interested if you had belief in the fundamentals of a token to pay 10 cents for a token that is right now valued at, let me go look here, 0. It's moved down. Let me see. Is it still at number 78? Let me refresh here. Is it still at number 78 or did it drop even further? Still at 78. It's right now valued at $3.66. So you're paying 10 cents on that. It's not horrible, I guess, but would you be interested in doing something like that on a proof of donation network? TradeFly will go with you first.
If I knew more about a project, then possibly. I really don't know anything about Zero right now, so it's hard to say. But let's say somebody was getting in the game, maybe a bigger company, which you'll probably never see it, honestly, with someone like Apple or something like that. But let's just use them for example. If you had a legitimate company coming into the space and they were using that, as a capital raising strategy or whatever the case may be, maybe because I believe in that company. I believe that they'll do the right things, and if I'm early to the game, that's where you want to be, right? You want to be early because that's usually where you'll get those exponential gains. But for something like Zero, where I know absolutely nothing about it, nope, hard pass for me. And I could miss out on it, and that's cool with me because guess what? There will be another. So I'll get in
Absolutely.
the hood, man. Yeah.
Absolutely. OC, you've been around crypto for a while. It is your hedge against the second fall of the peso. What's your thoughts on proof of donation? Would you ever? I mean, we've all done some crazy things to get our airdrops. We've jumped through hoops, right? But would you pay 10 cents to get a $3.66 token airdrop?
I would, but I don't know, man. This is one of the things that I will say, hey, hold on. Nope. Sign me off of this because the Spidey looks amazing. It sounds amazing. This smells like politics. So fucking bad. Sorry. So freaking bad.
Is cash in here? Cash? Earmuffs cash.
Imagine that. I mean, we're talking. Sorry, TradeFly. Go on.
Oh no, I was making a comment. I just said whoopsie. Nothing. We're good.
Oh, thanks. So I mean, just imagine for a little bit. And again, guys, I haven't read the white paper or nothing like here. But if they're pushing the proof of donation, what if, I don't know, let's just say Trump, right? Or even Biden. Hey, donate for my campaign, right? And guys, they are watching. They have the blockchain on their favor, and they can see where's that money coming from, going to, and they freakingly can't track you. Also, I mean, SEC, look away, please. Man, taxes on it, right? I don't know.
I see what you're saying there. This could almost be used for money laundering. Let me get rid of a bunch of this money to get other money. No, you're right. There's some nefarious acts that could take place on this protocol for sure. Good call, OC. I'm the Intel analyst, but today you get the Intel Analyst Award. So there you go. Good job. Let's jump over. Let's jump over and take a look at.
We got to get some TA in here, man.
Yeah, let's take a look at charts. Let's jump over to TradeFly. Yeah. TradeFly, what do you got for us, man?
I just looked. I was like, oh,
I got it on the Discord also.
Combo.
Piper.
Hey, so I got Injective up. I know that I think it was goodness gracious, who was it that asked for Injective? I think it was darn. I can't remember who it was. Anyways, so looking at Injective. All right, we got a bounce right here on the support area. And if you just go back left on the chart, back to November 2023, you can see this range that developed. You can see clear support, clear resistance right here. So that's why it's marked on the chart. You would see probably the value area high, point of control, value area low, somewhere in between those two lines there, right? So that's why I have this marked as support. And you can see, look at this strong wick coming off there. That tells you that there's buying pressure in this area. And that is strictly based off of this previous range. That's somebody was sitting there. They were waiting. Probably, quite a few people were sitting there waiting for it to come down to that area. They just have their buy orders just waiting, right? That's what I like to do. That's, part of swing trading. So we've come down to that area. Look, we got another bounce, and you do see it is now calling for a reversal here. What you're dealing with, though, is the golden pocket, right? So what was support is now resistance, and you have to break that area. So you can try to play this range if you want, but let me give you some values associated with support and resistance. So this right here is now support. That's going to be $18.63. Your resistance is going to be $22.87. So be very, very careful in this area. This is pretty much a no-no zone for me, unless you're doing some scalping or intraday trading and you're trying to actually play this range. That's up, that's available. Obviously, use a stop loss. Don't be too crazy in here because you never know what's going to happen. But what I would look for if I was going to get into injective, right? You got to break this area. All right. So I'm assuming you're looking along. I'm assuming you're looking to add to your bags here, but you got to break this area. Problem being is you have the dynamic reactor that's coming down and right. So it's now adding a little bit of confluence here with the resistance. So be very, very careful. But what I would look for is price action to break through the golden pocket, come up, get a rejection off of the dynamic reactor, and then come back down and retest it. But what you want to see is RSI trending up and right. So when you get that trend up and right with the RSI or the prime oscillator, then you're seeing a little bit of strength building in this area. You're probably going to see a couple of retests of this area before you ultimately see price actually break through, and then you're looking for that 0.5. So once you get on top of the dynamic reactor and that breaks through, then you're going to feel a little bit better about the situation, but then you have to deal with the 0.5. So you got a lot of confluence in this area with resistance. I would say be very careful, trying to long in this position right now. You kind of got to get through all of this junk before you can really feel confident about seeing an uptrend up and right again. So, I mean, as soon as we get back into this, this is another range right here. We've fallen out of the range. Now, you're going to get back into this range. So again, scalping intraday stuff is all wide open here for injective, but in terms of like adding to your bags, I would like to see it get through all of this before we start getting comfortable with that continued price action up and right for injective. So that's what I got for injective.
Awesome. OC, let's kick it over to you, man. What do you got for us?
Absolutely. I have Solana. Let's take a look at what had happened previously. We had a couple of successful trades. Look at that beautiful beautiful TP1, but it is time to start looking at a couple of other ones. At this point, I believe that this is exactly doing what I was expecting, or what I am expecting out of Bitcoin, right? Something important, it is looking at that V-shaped recovery, losing the triple divergence. Remember that V-shape that I was talking about on Bitcoin? Seems like this is playing around, right? Also, remember what I just said, having a little double bottom, or better yet, a higher high, right? So far, I mean, seems like Solana is playing out as I expect Bitcoin does it, right? Another important thing, if we start turning on our indicators, look at that, just like magic. One click and we have our falling wedge. Usually those falling wedge tend to break to the upside. So seeing this little ranging here, not losing the bottom here, not only that, making higher lows, I mean, that is on its way. There's a caveat here, guys. We haven't made any higher highs. So let me bring up Wyckoff. Wyckoff, it is one of my favorite patterns. Yeah, I know it's an advanced strategy, but look at that. We are coming down, little range, V-shaped recovery, high, not higher than the previous range. That gives us, 70% chances of ranging. Do not miss the chance of this possible range, right? Now we have the low, which defines the lower. Let's go for the patty. There we go, lower range. And then we also have the high. Let's go once again for the body. We have the upper range, right? So we still have a little bit of movement above and below. So just be careful in here. Look at your oscillator. I am expecting that the market pump resist and Bitcoin do not fall below these areas right now. And then we break through the zero line. That will usually indicate either a bounce at the bottom, or better yet, a breakthrough at the top, right? Then going for a possible retest, not like this one, so we need to be careful, more like this one, right? And then we will have a little bit of a continuation to the upside. So another important point will be, where is the dynamic reactor is going to be. So that's what I drew this little range. So the next possible scenario will be at the impact of the dynamic reactor. So how do you trade this? Well, then I would be doing some hedging here. So I first want to see the bottom, which is basically almost there, and then maybe opening a long position with a tight stop loss. My stop loss would be below this support line that we can draw, here we go, out of a discount zone of our market dynamics pro. And also, if we look at our falling wedge, it's going to be right within the buffering area for possible entries. So very clear and straightforward. Looking forward for Solana to have a possible reversal soon. Remember, wait for that zero line to be broken. Turning it back to you.
Awesome. I got Ondo wrapping it out here by request, guys. I'm watching this area right here, just so you guys can see. Let me put this down. There we go. Looking at a 4-hour chart here on Ondo. We are heading down right now towards this point of control and the dynamic reactor on the 4-hour. That range coming in at about $1.20. I would be looking for an entry there on the long if I was going to trade this, which I've already got a trade on it from down here right now, so I'm good. But I would be looking maybe to add to my position right here, about $1.20 on this pullback. The reason that I do think that I would do this trade there is because I do have a partial entry. However, pause for effect. We do have a platinum pocket here. It's very possible we could come down this far. That would be about $1.16 up to $1.20 for that entry zone because of the platinum pocket. And we do have what looks to be possibly a continuation here because you can see how it kind of did the goose head. And we got a little goose head here. But it is going to give us that little pullback like we had here. So look for it there. Possibly the 887 to $1.19, so $1.19 to $1.20 before we get that move up. We tend on Ondo to do this sideways high RSI areas. So just keep that in mind when we do have this red candle printing here. It is a doji candle that's printing here, so it is a little bit indeterminate right now. But that would be what I'm looking for on Ondo, $1.20 entry. I think we're going to get more upside. And I do think that we close out the rest of today, despite this morning's pullback, to the upside. I think this afternoon the markets will get a little reversal. Just this morning they got that they got economic data, and so kind of turned on that risk off switch for a little while. Watch for the markets to reverse back to the upside later on today. So
I got something real quick.
Yeah, what you got?
I'm going to do with Cardano, because there's a few significant levels on Cardano right now that I'm seeing as I'm looking at it. So just real quick, something that I'm personally going to do. I'll let you guys know how it plays out. There's a few significant levels on Cardano, one of them being at about 36 cents. I may have missed that bounce, but I think I'm going to put $100 on Cardano. If it continues to fall to the bottom side of this platinum pocket at about 30 cents, I'm going to add another $100. And if it falls all the way down to the bottom, I'm going to add another $100. Well, what if it doesn't fall down? Well, then it goes up, and guess what? I'll be profitable. So there's a few significant levels. So let me give those to you: 36 cents, 30 cents, and about 24 cents for Cardano. I think those are very, very key levels, and I think you can continue to layer down or layer into a trade as Cardano continues to fall. And if it goes up, obviously it'll be profitable. But it's something I'm going to personally do. Just wanted to point those levels out to you guys, give you a little alpha on the way out the door.
Awesome, appreciate that, man. I do want to point out that we called for 24-cent Cardano a while back. We actually did a thumbnail on it, and I got attacked in the chat, in the comments, not the chat, in the comments of the video about that level that we called for Cardano. So guys, it takes time. And when you're calling for something that low, yeah, it's definitely going to take time, because it's not going to go straight down unless there's an entire black swan event. So yeah, 24 cents. We talked about that like well over a month ago. So guys,
that was a sweet I told you so.
Hey, I wish that when I give my bearish predictions, guys, I hope that I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong, because my portfolio would thank me for it.
No
However,
doubt, right?
I got to call things the way that I see them. And as my wife tells me all the time, you can't negotiate with the charts. So I'll add to that and say you can't negotiate with economic data. And between the charts and the economy and the reports that come out on it, you get a pretty good idea of what's going on, and you look for those opportunities. Not crashes, not dips, not pullbacks. They're opportunities to reallocate and add to your portfolio. But guys, we got to get a quick outro to you guys, and then we are going to head out. We're going to go raid Randy Hipper. So TradeFly, what you got, man?
I'm putting my money where my mouth is, man. I just did a $100 market buy on Cardano. With that being said, hey, Today is going to be a good day. I'm looking forward to tomorrow, Friday. Let's get it. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Thank you for coming in the chat. Thank you for being part of the family. And yeah, with that, y'all take care.
OC, what you got for us, bro?
Guys, thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, first of all, Amy Piper, that was an amazing say that you told Piper that you cannot negotiate with Charles. So shout out to you. Also, guys, remember to click that like button, because if not, all of your yards on your fridge are getting tighter and tighter. And let me tell you that your peanut butter jar is the tightest of the block. Damn right.
Peanut butter jelly
Started
time,
on mine.
peanut butter
And
jelly
right.
time, peanut butter jelly in a
Started
baseball
on
bat,
yours.
peanut butter jelly in a baseball bat. Sorry,
Still
can't help it,
open,
dude.
but you have to like.
All right, we gotta go.
So
We gotta
make sure you
go.
like
Gotta
that button.
go. Guys, thanks for joining us here today. We appreciate every one of you. I love the alumni. You guys are
that's
why
my
we keep
alumni.
doing what
You
we
know
do
what I
here on
mean?
this show. And we're going to be back here tomorrow morning, Friday tomorrow, looking at how we're going to close out this week and looking at what's going on. So we will catch you guys then. But for right now, we're running over to Randy Hipper's show. Go raid the frat house. Let them know that the alumni is in the house. Drop those graduation caps. And we will catch you guys here tomorrow. Till then, trade safe. And as always, use a stop loss.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Chart Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. Sound off.
To get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni. You know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude.
What are you guys still here for? Go watch Randy Hipper. Go.